Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Closet Stories. So recently I wrote an article for my school paper on reparative therapy, aka gay conversion therapy. For those of you who don't know, gay conversion therapy is basically like a form of psychological therapy to try to make gay people straight. There's actually no evidence to back this up, but church officials like to use reparative therapy, and a lot of really religious people like to put their children through reparative therapy whenever they come out. And after doing some research on reparative therapy and reading people's stories of their time in those straight camps and their times with different counselors who try to make them straight, I realized that we have a really big problem in America with that. And I realized that we have a huge problem in America and no one's talking about it. So, a couple of problems with reparative therapy. Number one, there's no scientific evidence to back up that you can change someone's sexual orientation. That's pretty much impossible. The APA declassified homosexuality as a mental disorder back in the 1970s. So, there's no normalized standard for reparative therapy. So there's no standard for reparative therapy. People just kind of use different methods that they think work, but in reality it just creates a bunch of psychological problems, especially among LGBT teenagers. So another main problem with reparative therapy is that it instills the notion that heterosexuality is the norm, and people choose to be homosexual, or people are homosexual because of different psychological reasons that may have happened in the past, which is a complete lie. So the reason I wrote about it was because right now there are 3 states that are trying to outlaw reparative therapy. Right now the only places in America that have gay conversion therapy legal are California, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. Everywhere else in America, if you come out to your mom and dad and they decide that they don't like the fact that you are gay or lesbian or bisexual or even transgender, they can send you to these straight camps. They can send you to counseling to try to turn you straight or make you cisgender. And that's obviously a problem that we have in America. It's obviously a problem whenever your parents can dictate what your sexual orientation or what your gender identity is. So right now, Colorado, Oregon, and Iowa are trying to make it completely illegal to use reparative therapy on LGBT minors. On the flip side, you have states like Oklahoma that are trying to pass this thing called the Parental Bill of Rights, and all that will do will reinforce the idea that parents can choose to send their children to conversion therapy if they want. I think that, parents shouldn't be able to do whatever they want to their children because it's their religious freedom. It's not your religious freedom to be abusive. It's not your religious freedom to be a dick. It's not your religious freedom to kill your child. And it's not your religious freedom to make your child want to commit suicide and make your child feel like they're not welcome. Earlier this year, that girl Leela Alcorn killed herself because her parents didn't accept the fact that she was transgender. And they actually put her through reparative therapy, and it was enough to make her want to kill herself. And she's not the only one. There are people all around the country that are killing themselves and that are committing suicide and that are homeless and that have depression because their parents don't accept them. And then they send them to these gay conversion therapists to try to cure them whenever there's nothing to be cured. Instead of sending your child to gay conversion therapy, why don't you go to some fucking counseling for how to be a parent? I was watching this video of this one guy who's actually from Monroe. He's grown now, but back in the day, his parents sent him to some sort of straight camp. And he was telling a story on YouTube. I'll post a link in the description below. He was telling his story about the different things that they made him do. First, they kidnapped him in the middle of the night from his house whenever he was 15. His parents were in the doorway and they just said, oh, go with him. It's okay. Just go. Perfectly fine. So, you know, he went. And then he went on to tell these very graphic details of how they used zip ties to like tie his hands above his head for 2 days, and how they would beat him with a Bible to try to beat the devil out of him. It's really sad, and he couldn't have any contact with the outside world. And eventually, they ended up sending him home because they said that, like, Satan had too firm of a grip on him or something like that. So he comes home, abused, probably bruised, probably has a black eye. I really don't know if he does or not. I'm assuming he does, though. And I'm sure he told his parents what happened. Well, they just look at him and they say they're disappointed in him because he didn't have his heart in it or something like that. And he's not the only one. There are countless horror stories of these gay teenagers going to these camps because their parents make them. Your parental rights stop whenever you abuse your kid. Okay? You can't hit them. You can't beat them. You can't tell them that they're sinners and that they're going to hell just because they love someone of the same gender as them. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we should outlaw reparative therapy altogether? Do you think that some parents should not be allowed to raise their children? Let me know. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, all that good stuff. Send me emails at closetstoriesla@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe, send this video to your friends and family. If you have a story that you want to share with Louisiana, let me know. I'll put it up. I only have until April 15th to make these videos.